Have you ever failed so many times that you started to believe success was just not meant for you? Not once, not twice, but again and again, until even you began to doubt yourself. Imagine giving everything you have, losing it all, and still being told to quit. That's where this story begins. Not with success, but with exhaustion, shame, and one final decision. This is not just a motivational story. This is a mirror. If you stay with me until the end, you'll discover a simple truth that can completely change how you see failure, persistence, and your own potential. And that truth might be exactly what you need right now. Most people believe failure means the journey is over. That if something doesn't work, it's a sign to stop trying. But the truth is very different. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process. Every mistake teaches something. Every loss removes an illusion. At English Story Archive, we share stories that remind you this struggle is not unique to you. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who fall, stand up, and keep moving forward. Before this story turns hopeful, it gets uncomfortable. Because real growth always begins where comfort ends. The man at the center of this story was named Ethan Park. He did not grow up poor. His family lived a simple but stable life. His father owned a small local business, and his mother made sure the home was always warm and steady. Ethan went to college like everyone else. From the outside, his life looked fine. But inside, he felt restless. Ordinary scared him. He wanted to build something of his own. He wanted proof that he could be more than average. That desire pushed him forward. And it also pushed him straight toward failure. Right after college, Ethan made his first bold move. He invested his savings into a small business he truly believed in. He was confident. He was excited. He felt sure he had timed the market perfectly. But confidence is not the same as experience. Within months, the business collapsed. The money was gone. When his family offered him a safe path back, Ethan refused. To him, accepting comfort felt like admitting defeat. So instead of stopping, he made a choice that would define the next few years of his life. He decided to try again. Trying again felt brave at first. But as months turned into years, Ethan's efforts kept ending the same way. One business after another failed. Each idea started with hope and ended in loss. Money disappeared. Confidence followed. People around him began to notice. Friends stopped asking about his plans. Relatives whispered their opinions. His name slowly became a joke, a warning, an example of what not to do. What hurt more than the losses was the silence. The invitations stopped. The encouragement faded. And alone at night, Ethan began to wonder if everyone else was right about him. As the failures added up, the pressure became heavier. Ethan could feel it in every conversation and every look. People no longer asked how he was doing. They told him what he should do. Get a real job. Stop dreaming. Be realistic. His old friends were moving forward with their lives, while he felt stuck in the same place. Late at night, the noise grew louder inside his head. Maybe he was not built for success. Maybe persistence was just stubbornness in disguise. Doubt slowly replaced belief, and for the first time, Ethan felt something more dangerous than failure. He felt ashamed of himself. Eventually, everything collapsed at once. Ethan's last business failed harder than the others. Bills piled up. Credit cards were maxed out. Phone calls went unanswered. With no money left and nowhere to turn, he was forced back into his childhood home, carrying nothing but regret. His parents barely spoke about it, but the disappointment was obvious. Ethan felt like a burden. One night, sitting alone in his old room, he stared at the ceiling and realized this was the lowest point of his life. no plans, no confidence, no future in sight. This wasn't just failure anymore. This was surrender knocking at the door. That night, something changed. Not outside him, but inside. Ethan made a quiet promise, one with no audience and no applause. He told himself he would try one last time. Just once more. If he failed again, he would stop chasing this dream forever. He would accept a normal life and let go of the idea that he was meant for more. But this final attempt would be different.
No rusing.
No blind hope. No repeating the same mistakes. It was not confidence that pushed him forward anymore. It was the need for closure. And with that promise, Ethan stood up, not knowing that this decision was about to change everything. Ethan knew he needed money, but no one trusted him anymore. Banks said no. Investors laughed politely. With no other option, he took a job he never imagined for himself. He became a waiter at an expensive restaurant. Every night, he served people who lived the life he once dreamed of. He listened to their conversations about deals, growth, and success. Each shift reminded him how far he had fallen. But instead of looking away, Ethan listened closely. He observed. He learned. What felt like humiliation on the surface slowly became preparation. And without realizing it, this quiet phase was shaping him for what came next. One evening, a regular customer noticed Ethan. He was an older man, calm and confident, the kind of person others respected without question. After watching Ethan work for weeks, he finally spoke. He told Ethan he did not belong there. At first, Ethan felt exposed. But instead of denying it, he told the truth. He admitted his failures. He admitted his doubts. The man listened without judgment. Then he smiled and said something Ethan never expected to hear. He said he had failed more times than Ethan ever had. And that single sentence opened a door Ethan did not know existed. The next morning, Ethan showed up early, unsure of what to expect. The older man welcomed him into a quiet office filled with books and memories of past work. Instead of giving advice, he asked questions. Hard ones. He asked Ethan to explain every failure honestly, without excuses. As Ethan spoke, a pattern became clear. He rushed. He guessed. He acted on emotion instead of understanding. The man stopped him gently and explained a simple truth. Passion without preparation always ends the same way. Failure, he said, is not random. It follows rules. And once you understand those rules, everything changes. The mentor picked up a marker and wrote a single sentence. Learn before you leap. He explained that excitement often tricks people into skipping the most important step. Study. Ethan had jumped into every idea without truly understanding the market or the people he wanted to serve. That was the real reason everything collapsed so fast. Before building anything, the mentor said, you must spend months learning. Not days. Not weeks. Months. When you study first, you build on solid ground instead of hope. For the first time, Ethan realized his failures were not proof of weakness. They were lessons he had ignored. After a pause, the mentor shared the second rule. Most people quit too early. They expect results in a few months and panic when progress feels slow. He explained that real businesses take time to breathe and grow. Struggle at the beginning is normal. Silence is normal. Doubt is normal. What is rare is commitment. He told Ethan to stop giving himself short deadlines. Success does not respond to pressure. It responds to consistency. If Ethan truly wanted a different result, he had to promise himself one thing: to keep showing up, even when nothing seemed to work. The mentor leaned forward and shared the final rule. Focus. Ethan had tried to do everything at once in the past. many ideas, many services.
No mastery.
That scattered effort had kept him average at best. The mentor explained that real success comes from doing one thing better than anyone else. Not many things halfway. One thing, done exceptionally well. When you become known for a single skill, people remember you. They trust you. Ethan finally understood. His problem was never effort. It was direction. And with this third law, the path ahead became clear for the first time. Ethan did not rush this time. For 3 full months, he did nothing that looked like progress from the outside. No launch. No money coming in. He studied quietly. He learned how businesses actually worked, why customers said yes, and why they walked away. People around him thought he was wasting time again. Even his family doubted him. But Ethan remembered the rules. Foundation first. This season was not about results. It was about understanding. And deep down, he felt something new growing. Not excitement. Not fear. Confidence built on knowledge. When the time came, Ethan finally started again. This time, the business was simple and focused. One clear service. One clear audience. No office. No team. Just him and his skills. The early days were quiet and uncomfortable. One small client appeared, then weeks of nothing. The money was barely enough to survive. Old doubts tried to return. But Ethan did not panic. He remembered his promise. This was an 18-month commitment, not a quick test. Instead of chasing fast growth, he focused on doing the work well. Slowly, something different began to happen. The clients who stayed were getting real results. Months passed, and progress came slowly. Some weeks felt hopeful. Others felt empty. At times, Ethan gained a client, only to lose one soon after. The income grew, then stalled, then grew again. From the outside, it looked unimpressive. But inside, something was changing. Clients were staying longer. They were recommending him to others. For the first time, growth felt real, not forced. When his family questioned him again, Ethan did not argue. He trusted the process. This phase was not about proving others wrong. It was about proving to himself that he could keep going without quitting. Around the 1-year mark, Ethan felt a shift he could not ignore. It was not sudden success, but steady momentum. A bigger client came in, then another through a referral. The work became intense, but meaningful. For the first time, he was busy for the right reasons. The income finally covered his needs, then slowly exceeded them. Ethan realized something important. This was not luck arriving late. This was the result of patience, focus, and refusing to quit when nothing was guaranteed. The same man who once felt broken was now building something real, one day at a time. Exactly 18 months after he began, Ethan looked back in disbelief. The business was stable. The clients were consistent. The income had grown beyond what he once thought possible. He moved out of his childhood home and paid back old debts one by one. More importantly, the shame was gone. His family saw the change, not just in money, but in him. Ethan had kept the promise he once whispered to himself at rock bottom. He did not win because he was smarter or luckier. He won because he stayed when quitting felt easier. And that made all the difference. With time, Ethan's story spread. People began asking him how he did it. Not the money, but the comeback. He shared the truth honestly. The years of failure mattered. They taught him what not to do. When he spoke to others who were struggling, he did not offer motivation. He offered clarity. Learn before you leap. Commit for the long run. Master one thing. Those lessons were no longer ideas. They were lived experience. At English Story Archive, this is why we tell stories like Ethan's. Because real success is not about never falling. It is about learning how to rise with intention. If you're listening to this right now, this part is for you. Maybe you've failed once. Maybe you've failed many times. Maybe you're tired of starting over. Ethan was there too. He did not succeed because fear disappeared. He succeeded because he moved forward with fear beside him. If your progress feels slow, that does not mean it is wrong. If no one believes in you yet, that does not mean you are lost. It only means you are still in the middle of the story. And the middle is always the hardest part. Before this story ends, pause for a moment. Ask yourself where you are right now. Are you close to quitting? Are you on attempt number 2, 5, or 10? Ethan's life changed when he stopped running from failure and started learning from it. If this story gave you even a small push forward, let that matter. Hit the like button as a promise to yourself that you will not give up today. Subscribe to English Story Archive for more stories like this, because reminders like these are needed when motivation fades. Sometimes, one story at the right time can keep you moving. Now I want you to do one last thing. Leave a comment with your attempt number. It means you are still trying. Share this story with someone who feels stuck or defeated. You never know who needs to hear this today. Remember, Ethan's breakthrough did not come from talent or luck. It came from standing up one more time than he fell. Your story is not over yet. It might just be one more attempt away from changing everything. When you look back at Ethan's journey, the lesson becomes clear. Success did not arrive when he felt ready. It arrived when he stopped quitting early. Every failure prepared him for the moment he finally stayed long enough to win. The mistakes were not wasted time. They were training. If you feel behind in life, remember this. You are not late. You are being shaped. Progress is invisible before it becomes obvious. Stay focused. Stay patient. And most importantly, stay in the game. Because the only real way to lose is to stop trying before the lesson is complete. Ethan's story ends here, but yours does not. His life changed not because failure stopped showing up, but because quitting did. 7 failures did not define him. Walking away would have. If you remember only one thing from this story, let it be this. You are closer than you think. Most people quit one step before things begin to change. Don't let that be you. Hold on a little longer. Learn. Adjust. Try again. Because sometimes, success is not about doing something new. It is about doing the same thing one more time, with patience and belief. Your breakthrough may be waiting on your next attempt. It is about doing the same thing one more time, with patience and belief. Your breakthrough may be waiting on your next attempt. Your breakthrough may be waiting on your next attempt.